Yeah, it's the Gwen and God DJ Self, and guess what? You're checking out the evening experience. Now listen, if you wake up in the morning time, sorry man, because you're missing what's going down in the evening. The evening experience, baby. Mac here, Chucky here. Listen, we all here Gwenning, baby. It's the Gwen and God DJ Self. Break it down for him one time.
Yeah, we got to get him to do another drop because
Yeah.
Chucky not here. Once again, this is the evening experience from 5 to 7 every Thursday. It's going down as it does every Thursday. Once again, your Thursdays will never be the same. I have the one and only Miss Tony sitting next to me.
Yes, Miss Tony's in the building.
I'm your boy Mac 357. It's going down today. I'm telling y'all, we got two incredible guests that's going to be on the show today.
Yes.
We got Belinda Trotter James.
Yes,
She is
Belinda.
here. The magazine, the legacies, the different places she's been in the world to help the culture of hip-hop, models, and everything move forward. She's going to be talking about here on the show today. And we got my boy Discipline in the actual studio. He's getting ready to come up.
Yay, discipline.
He's going to discipline Miss Tony and help her to work better.
Ow. Suck it now.
All right. So we're going to be right back. Momentito. We're going to take a quick musical interlude, and we're going to have our first guest up. So let's go. Let's get it.
All right.
Young guy gun.
Something for you, something for you, something for you, something for you, shot for you, shot for you.
Wait, what?
Something for you, something for you, something for you, something for you, shot for you, shot for you, shot for you, shot for you. Go.
Baby, come give me something. Baby, I say make you come give me something. Honey, if not cash you want, baby, or if not card you want, ready? Baby, stop all the frontin'. I know say you want what I'm wanting.
That's right.
The way you give me iron, you like a pass.
I see ya.
Now you gotta look for me the other side. Baby, you want to go, you want to go, you want to go. Can't bother ta, baby. You want to go, you want to go, you want to go. Who can't pass a go, baby? You want to go, you want to go, you want to go. Can't bother ta, baby. You want to go, you want to go, you want to go. Who can't pass a go, baby?
Something light.
I wanna give you
Something light.
baby, take
Something light.
I wanna give you
Something light.
Now so the other time you didn't follow me, they dancing, yo. Oh baby, I can't ask myself if not true will be in a trance, yo. Oh baby, all I'm asking is one thing. I beg no go put me for long thing. I know you no go mind down. I know you no go down me, yo. And when I done the chopper, I know you no go free me, yo. Them call me young, I come for a reason. And I go show you my power every season. Baby, you want to go, you want to go, I ain't gonna try, baby, you want to go, who can't pass a go, baby, you want to go, I ain't gonna try, baby, you want to go, who can't pass a go, baby,
Something light.
I wanna give you
Something light.
baby, take
Something light.
I wanna give you
Something light.
Once again, it's your boy Mac 357 and your girl.
Miss Tony in the building.
And sitting to our immediate right is the one and only Discipline.
Discipline.
Thank
Hey,
you. Thank you for having me.
Discipline.
Thank you for having me.
Hey.
First and foremost, to let everybody know the background, Discipline is an author that has many novels that he has put out, talking about discipline, talking about things of the erotic nature, but also giving insight into psyche and how to maneuver around the people or people that you're with, whether male or female, giving them, some purpose or trying to find a way in which to connect with them better.
You got it down pat.
Yeah, I try. So tell us about, first and foremost, thank you for being a guest here on
Thank
the
you
show
for
today.
having me.
We want to thank your manager, Ms. Sue Sotomayor, for having you here today. She is sitting on the end, just to let y'all know. Tell us what started you to want to be a writer.
Writer.
A writer. So I started writing in 2015.
Okay.
And I've always wrote, like, English was like my favorite, subject in school. And I've always wrote. Where it catapulted was when I started implementing it in social media. Like, that was like the platform I utilized to practice, and like, when I look back, 6 books later, I'm like, this was written in the stars for me to do. You know what I mean? Like, I come from a family of alphas. I'm Haitian and Dominican, and my parents, they didn't always used to be reverends. Now they're reverends. So, like, I'm born into the church, and I no longer go to church, to be honest. For my own beliefs or whatever. But having, like, my parents as those role models, like, witnessing that, what I mean, it has made me, like, assertive into life, like, taking whatever I want in life. I've learned that in the domestic environment prior to anything else. So my experiences are now you witnessing them in the literary content in each book. The first book, The Seduction of Discipline, is an autobiography of my life as a real dominant in the BDSM lifestyle. I'm saying a lot of terminology that people aren't familiar with.
Correct.
They have to get that first book, The Seduction of Discipline, right here. And if you have, like, a mobile device, everyone has a mobile device. You could go on Google. If you have, like, an Android, Google Play. If you have an iPhone, iTunes, put in The Seduction of Discipline in the search. You could start reading it right then and
Now,
there.
you did mention your parents being reverend and you were brought up in the church. How do they feel about you writing this type of book?
That's an interesting question. My parents, when I
Have they read it, first of all?
well, my father read that book. He read only 3 of my books. This one, Strong Bonds Never Break, and Stuck Between Two Different Worlds. The thing is, ever since I was getting tattoos at 17 years old, that became, like, the issue. I've always been the black sheep of my family. You know what I mean? So knowing that my parents are religion, like, that's what started that. It kind of, like, it grew on them. You know what I mean? I'm 32 now. Like, I go visit my parents.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're not, you know what I mean? They, at the end of the day, it's kind of like they're supportive. You know what I mean? They may not agree with everything, but they're supportive. The dominant lifestyle, I was bred into that. So the BDSM, inside of the sexual environment, that's a different story. Nobody's gonna talk to their parents about how they engage in
Right.
the sexual environment. But the lifestyle outside, like, I've witnessed that, growing up. Like, dominance and submission, what I witnessed started in the household. Like, my parents are from the islands. So they're both alpha, but one submits, one, you're the king, I'm the queen.
I got you.
So I witnessed that first. Elaborating more on the content, my mom, she looks at the cover and she's just like, I'm
No.
not,
I'm
definitely.
not touching that.
She's like, I just me, like, you nasty, like, you.
Well, for a lot of people, even though they may do some of the processes that you might read in your book, sadomasochism, bondage, or anything else of that nature, giving or relinquishing
Control.
control of that person, is not something that everyone is willing to do.
There,
It's taught. It's something that is, someone has to trust you with them.
Yeah, that's trust.
yeah, that's the foundation. I say in this first book, this lifestyle, this dynamic, this power exchange dynamic is, in my opinion, the truest form of unity between man and woman. My opinion. Because there's more trust, there's more loyalty, there's more adequate communication, there's more sacrifice, more challenge beyond the body. Usually, the masses hear BDSM, they automatically get sexual connotation. So in this book, people will look at the cover and automatically 50 Shades of Grey will pop up in their head, because that's, as far as America goes, that's the only thing that's been, pushed down our throat.
Well, that's the mainstream that popped off because of the author writing that book and
Yeah.
because of the movie.
Yeah.
So immediately, yes, that's the first thing that would pop into
Yes.
somebody's head, because they're mainstream media. They've had a big run as far as the movie itself and both books and
But
so
there's
forth
so
and so
many
on.
other writers that
Oh,
are like
facts.
that. You know what
Yes,
I'm saying?
yes.
Yeah, and it's not BDSM is not all erotica. You know what I mean? It's not all about sex. Like that's what's not explained in perhaps those other books and that movie. Like, I did my own research as well. So you don't really have that time to watch a hour and 30-minute movie and they're going to explain everything. You know what I mean? So with this book, like, you have the autobiography embodying my lifestyle, but a lot of education. You know what I mean? Like, the cornerstone, the real background to this lifestyle.
How long did it take you to actually write this first book?
It took me about 6 months. It was my first book. I was still practicing. I didn't know what a genre meant. I had to, educate myself, research, and find out what type of genre, because there's all different types of genres in here. Obviously I mentioned autobiography, erotica, BDSM, education, and there's a few stories. So, like, my second book, The Importance of Discipline, is more of a self-help book. Like, this book my mother read.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
this book is not BDSM at all. It's straight self-help. Like, I don't even utilize profanity. You know what I mean? So she's giving it to pastors, and my uncle in Paris is reading it. You know what I mean? So this is a book, actually, The Importance of Discipline, I want, when I have children one day, to read first. Prior to when they get old enough.
Experiences, right.
When they get old enough, they can read the other ones. If they choose. But this is the first book I want them to read first. I talk about patience, first chapter, thoughts, chapter 2. Anything you implement into your mental manifests into reality.
Yes, I believe in that.
You know
too.
what I mean?
Yes.
So I speak of chapter 5, healing and vibrations. Chapter 3, confidence. I have chapter 14, why Black Lives Matter. 15, accountability. So, there's different things in here for everyone else. And then we come down to the third book, Discipline's World. Discipline's World is the sequel, because, like I said, in The Seduction of Discipline, I have a few stories.
Okay.
So this was actually my first storybook novel. You know what I mean? So it's
it contains the same characters.
yes,
as the-
yes, and
That's nice.
you see the growth.
Yes.
You see the growth. That's what I like about a sequel or a
Yeah.
trilogy. You see the progress. You see the growth. So Discipline's World is a BDSM erotica novel.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah. And then we go to the fourth, the fourth book, the trilogy. It's the immortality of discipline. So this is me, same characters, but there's a twist, because now I'm diving into the paranormal world, vampire.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's
this,
deep.
yeah, and that has erotica in it as well.
Don't be jealous. All right.
All my
Ain't no
books.
jealousy here,
The
sister.
thing is, like, most women gravitate to my books. But don't allow the cover to fool you, because majority of women are on there. Like, they're for men as well, if
Right.
they want to indulge. Like, I have plenty of education in there. Every, EL discipline books always have a message in them.
Correct. So what I got from the preface and a lot of the different novels that you have is the fact that you are facilitating education throughout the entire series, regardless of where or what the title is. You're teaching all the way, helping people to find or master themselves, find and master what is, if you want to say, the thing that makes those two click.
Yeah, you're right. Not to cut you off, but myself, right? Take myself. I vibrate on a high frequency level, and how do I do that? Because of the three major components: mind, body, and soul. So I train those things to a T. I read,
You work out.
I work out. So I'm a fitness trainer, and I meditate, and I inhale life. So, like, by me implementing all those things to strengthen those components, I vibrate on a high frequency.
A different
So
level.
yeah, so you will encounter people who you could feel things. You could feel their
Energy.
energy. You could feel their vibrations, and if they have low vibrations, it's almost like you don't want to be around them, because they're gonna drain you of your
Energy.
energy.
Correct.
I
I have a friend of mine who is DJ Needful Things, who says the same thing. I have Pink Lotus. She's another one that talks about vibration and energy, that people who have great energy, they love being around, and people who they don't, they kind of like shy away from it. It's like, hey, how you doing? And then keep it moving. Because they like to keep their plane of existence on that higher plane, as opposed to lowering it to meet others. Now, sometimes there is a process where they say that they lower it to see if they can help raise or elevate that
that
person.
person.
But sometimes
they don't-
it doesn't work.
Yeah, sometimes they don't, want
Correct,
to
correct.
grow with you. That's the same thing with like friends. Like you could engage with friends in whatever capacity for 15 years, 20 years. You're elevating. If they're not willing to grow with you, you're gonna
Kinda
have to make
die
a
off.
decision.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like as you reach that level of greatness, like you're gonna lose a lot of people.
Oh yes, so I notice.
You know?
And I've said to a few people who have been around me doing what I do, I said, some people will take this journey with me, and we will have great success, and some won't, and I'm okay with that. And as I see, a lot of people don't understand, when you have a vision, or if you have something set in your mind, they may not get it. And my thing is, whether you get it or not, it's okay. I'm gonna still carry forward with what I'm doing, because at the end of the day, I know what I need to see there.
That's true.
But I tell people there's alphas in, both male and females, and sometimes you'll have two alphas butting heads. The
And-
process is, it's okay, but you have to learn to balance each other.
Yeah, I mean, with that situation, somebody has to relinquish control a little bit.
Hey,
You know what I mean? Like I've always been the alpha in my, group of friends. But there's certain things like I'll just be subdued with, just to make
Fall back. I got
fall
you.
back. Yeah, and I've learned that just through growing up. Like so like I said, I'm 32 now, but I've been always as poised. You know what I mean? Like I was, a reckless kid, growing up. But that's through growth. That's through experience. You know what I mean? Like we were saying, like when you're elevating at that high, you kind of eradicate, those people or whatever that are influencing your energy. You know what I mean? So just to go back on the books,
Yes.
Stuck Between Two Different Worlds. Right here, this is a drama thriller novel. It I took this to Hollywood actually, and I received 4 requests. So professional screenwriters working on the screenplay, and we were looking to adapt this into motion picture film. You know what I mean? We don't know where we're gonna go yet as far as like, well, I know I want like television series.
Okay, so if you get the television series, you know, you can have them come in and film this part again.
Right.
See, we could do this again.
Of course.
You know, just to make sure they get it from the right side.
course.
Right side. All right, go ahead.
Of course.
Why you chose this one to take to Hollywood? Why this? Book?
Well, this is what happened. The first book, The Seduction of Discipline, I had high hopes for that. I was like Hollywood in my mind. It
Right.
didn't work out that way. It was after the 5th book, the agent contacted me like, you have something here. They want to meet with you there. So I went to Los Angeles. I stayed at the Beverly Hilton. You know, I spoke to executives, and I received 4 requests. So with this book, it's fictional characters. The husband is a master in the BDSM lifestyle, and you know, there's certain terms in BDSM that in regular and vanilla mean differently. Don't, you know what I mean? Like slave might mean to someone else that it like, oh, doormat or whatever, vanilla, but in the BDSM world, you know, it can mean queen, it can mean, you know what I mean, just same thing as submissive. So the husband is a dominant in the BDSM world who has a submissive, Estrella, and his wife is Sophia. She lives a vanilla life. So they're like high school sweethearts. You know, they're now married, but they're also business partners together and separate. The twist is they have a Bonnie and Clyde relationship, ex-Bonnie and Clyde relationship. So going into this book, you're witnessing that Bonnie and Clyde relationship coming back. Like they want to leave the life, but it keeps coming back to them. I always say, if you want to follow drugs, you'll find addicts. If you want to follow designer, you'll find celebrities. But if you follow money, you don't know where you're going to end up. So there's Italian mobsters. You know, it's crazy.
Okay.
And now I have the sequel, Strong Bonds Never Break. So this is the sequel of Stuck Between Two Different Worlds. And pretty much like what happens in here, from the wife does something in here that leads to a sequel. You know, so just a brief synopsis on Stuck Between Two Different Worlds. Dom and Sophia want to get married. They're engaged. Sophia's 2 months pregnant with Reina. Dom met this guy. He doesn't know what he is. He just met this guy at a venue, and he noticed that he's a businessman. Dom is intelligent as well and has ambition. He just doesn't have the resources. So he had a business arrangement with this man to meet and potentially become business partners. So he brings Sophia with him. The guy is Italian. Now, he says, Dom, you're unique and talented, but I'm sorry, I don't do business with niggas. You know, and he doesn't take offense to that. To each their own. Dom is cerebral. He'll think of something. If you own the business, he'll buy out your tenant. Now you owe him. You know, he's that cerebral. Sophia, on the other hand, she's aggressive. She's the type of person, you look at her wrong, she's gonna punch you in the face. Like, she doesn't care. You know, her Achilles heel is her emotions. So when she hears that, she's not fine with it. She gets up out of the chair, a firearm that she didn't tell him that she brought, and she puts it to his temple and says, my husband may not be offended to that, but I'm offended. So this is how it's gonna work. You're gonna sign things over to us, or I'm gonna make you famous tomorrow. So that's kind of like their rise to power, but their rise to wealth is Dom's brain. So I kind of implement that brain and bronze between them, that Bonnie and Clyde relationship.
I could see this as a series on TV. I really can. Just the way you explained it. Yeah, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So, you being the discipline part of the book, would you say 90% of this is you?
I mirrored the character to me, you know, not to a T, because he makes a lot of mistakes I wouldn't make, but I do that purposely to keep the story interesting. But he definitely mirrors me. You know, as far as the life, no, I mean, I'm not wealthy. You know, I don't have children. You know, I'm not married. You know, but you know, definitely the lifestyle that I've implemented in here, the BDSM, the erotica, you know, yeah, about 65%.
Where does your creativity come from? Is it you actually playing things out, and then you get the urge to write, or it just comes?
It just comes. Like I could, yeah, working. An idea comes up, pull out my phone, write it in my notes. You know, wait till I get home. You know, my mind races 50 miles per minute. You know what I mean? So they just come, and a lot of the times it comes after I meditate. You know what I mean? Like,
Meditation clears the mind.
yeah, after I meditate, it's like I'm a free
ideas.
thinker now.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where it really comes from.
Right.
That's
So
my inspiration.
each one of these books, were they done back to back? I mean, how long in between did you decide to write another book?
I did 6 books in a year and a half.
Wow.
I did 5 in under a year. 6 books in a year and a half. Usually authors write a book a year or 2 years, you know, and you know, I've just had stuff in my notes for a while. You know, I'm just constantly writing notes. The thing about a writer is we want to escape the writing process, but we just don't. Like, everything you say and do could possibly be in a novel.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, just interaction. I feel like human interaction is the most potent thing on earth. We wouldn't be here without human interaction, human connection. You know, so I just, you know, I see something, hear something in music. You know, I'm in tune more with nature now and the universe, you know, and I just feel like my ancestors assist me, you know, and boom, they're like kicking me in the head. And I come up with this idea. I'm coming with this idea. And it's like I'm reading Strong Bonds Never Break, and I'm like, this is probably the best book I've written so far. You know, but that first book, The Seduction of Discipline, is my favorite. You know, it has everything in there, you know.
Who's your muse?
These, like, women on the cover?
Period.
Uh,
Because I noticed there's women of all different shapes and sizes
Yeah.
throughout all the different books. So
yeah. These women are models that, you know, is just strictly business.
no,
Is
meaning
that
in the sense that do you prefer a thinner woman, BBW?
No, not at all. Not at all. You know, I don't have you know, I don't have like a strict muse. You know what I mean? I really love to showcase different flavors of women. You know what I mean? Especially women of color. You know what I mean? I felt that, you know, I'm all for women empowerment, but like my people, you know what I mean? Promoting my people is like a first thing. It's like a priority in my mind. You know, so I thought this was pretty cool to have this. You know what I mean? Whereas some of these women perhaps have been on the back burner their entire life, and I know how it feels. You know what I mean? They've, you know, had potential to be on the cover of a magazine or whatever, but, you know what I mean? Maybe your skin was too dark, maybe this, whatever it was that didn't get them there. You know what I mean? This is something big.
So okay. So is there a next chapter that's coming? Is there something more to the series that you're gonna put out that
I have a trilogy in the
Okay.
making.
okay.
From a trilogy from Stuck Between Two Different Worlds, but the sequel to Strong Bonds Never Break. You know, and it's different how I'm writing it. I'm actually writing it in script form. You know what I mean? I'm learning that. So that's another monster that I'm trying to conquer. You know, where it's more descriptive of the camera angles, and it's more of a director's point of view. Like the acronym INT, you know, is for interior, dot, New York, dash, night. Those things I'm learning. You know, more of the emotions of the characters as well. I'm implementing in the dialogues. You know, the difference between protagonists and antagonists. You know, so like the way I come up with a story, I feel like is like great storytelling is knowing the difference between like who's gonna be, if you're creating like a novel, a drama novel, thriller, who are gonna be the protagonists, what is gonna be the antagonist, like the obstacle, and how are they gonna overcome that. You know what I mean? So these are things that I write notes about prior to even sitting down in front of the laptop and working.
Okay. Is there anything that you would like to impart to the people watching that can give them food for thought?
Whatever you're doing, just keep pushing at it. Like I went through all the emotions. You know what I mean, with these books, like I said, the first book, The Seduction of Discipline, I had high expectations for that. I was saying Hollywood, and it didn't work out. You know, I had a dream that I say then, but now I say premonitions. I had a dream then that I was in front of Hollywood executives for The Seduction of Discipline. It didn't work out. It took the 5th book. So same scenario, just different book. I had that dream in 2017. The Seduction of Discipline came out June 30th, 2017. And like August, I had 2017. I had that dream or that premonition. 2018 October 12th through 13th. That's when I went to Hollywood. You know, different book, same scenario. You know, so whatever you're trying to get at, like, you know what I mean, keep at it. You know, I feel like, you know, we have about 1,440 minutes in a day. We have about 24 hours in a day. Like, you're not going to say you don't have enough time to do anything. The difference is my time and your time, what you do with it. You know, you could have kids, you could have wives, but it's like prioritizing your time. You don't have to spend like 5 hours on your dreams. You can spend 30 minutes, you can spend an hour, you can spend 2 hours. You know what I mean? So like, whatever you're doing, you know, keep pushing at it. You're gonna go through those hardships because those hardships are what's gonna make you grow.
Correct. You can't bake a cake without cracking a few eggs.
Yeah.
I got you. Tell people where they can find you on social media.
E.L Discipline. This is Instagram, Fitness Education 07, Discipline _beat 07, and then everything else, just go to Safari or Google and put in E.L Discipline. You'll find everything. Twitter, you'll find all my books, all 6 books.
I was just about to ask that too. How can they purchase your books?
Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, authorhouse.com. If they have a mobile device or laptop, Kindle, whatever, electronically, iTunes, Google Play, Kobo Books, anything electronic, Goodreads.
Nice.
You know, so you just put in E.L Discipline, you'll find all my works. Kendall.
Okay. So for those who have been listening, we have an author, soon to be in the movies and the stars on TV.
Right.
I don't want to be in the movies. I want to be in the background. I don't want people to see me.
Well, the
But
director,
his work.
but his work will be on the
My
screen.
work,
Yes.
definitely.
This is the one and only E.L Discipline. I want to let y'all know that you can purchase the movie on all of the different platforms in which he spoke of.
The book. You said movie.
But go ahead and speak on
Oh,
movies.
well, listen.
Yes, speak on movies
I'm putting
too.
it out there.
Okay.
You can get to the actual books through all of the different platforms in which he spoke on. Once again, take the opportunity, read something great, listen to something that can move you forward in life and do great things. And once again, the one and only E.L Discipline has been in the building.
Yes.
And I want to thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for enlightening the world as to what life is and where it can go.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back. We're going to take a musical interlude, but y'all going to see us in 2 and 2 momentarily. Yes.
Yo, see we in a situation, can make it work. Appreciate the invitation, don't like the flirt. How you really tryna stun on me? Knew I had a feeling from the jump, you ain't the one for me, nah. Steady calling up your phone, you ain't picking up. Your homie say she was a jump, then why you hit her up? Please don't make me call your home, make me call your bluff. Heard it to be rough, out of luck, now you out here stuck. Anytime, anywhere, no. I'ma pull up anytime, anywhere, nah. And you know me not care, no. And I lie, me I tell no. Me know you're mad, so I want my like. Not bad that change up, cause you just my type. Empress, bad gal, me in your life. Saying not bad that change up, not bad that change up. Me ting mad, yeah, you know me ting mad. Me ting mad, yeah, you know me ting mad. Me ting mad, boy, you know me ting mad. About to run, make me chase you. I got some issues that require just a little love. This that life, you gotta live it, you can't make it up. A lot of people trying to take it, I don't give it up. Yeah, I had enough, it's what it is, it's never what it was. Take it off, try it down for me now. Rest your standards, on the ground for me now. Yeah. Take it off, try it down for me now. And I lie me, I tell no. But not on that time, I don't watch nobody. Wind it up slow, yeah, me wind my body. Make it come closer, yeah, closer, daddy. By my waist, so whenever you say so. Anytime, anywhere now. I'ma pull up anytime, anywhere, nah, nah, nah. And you know me not care, no. And I lie me, I tell no. Me know you're mad, so I want my like. Not bad that change up, cause you just my type. Empress, bad gal, me in your life. Saying not bad that change up, not bad that change up. Me ting mad, yeah, you know me ting mad. Me ting mad, yeah, you know me ting mad. Me ting mad, boy, you know me ting mad. About to run, make me chase you. I feel no, say I know what I like. Make you grab me by the waist, say I know what I like, yeah. I feel no, say I know what I like. Make you grab me by the waist all night. No, say I know what I like. Make you grab me by the waist. Say I know what I like. Yeah. I feel no, say I know what I like. Make you grab me by the waist all night.
Trust myself around you, I'm overwhelmed. I don't wanna miss this one, I'm for real. If you can't tell, I pray that you catch all the feels I do. Didn't even really know you, couldn't help myself. Took you down on the first date, couldn't even wait to get to my hotel. I pray that you want it again like I do. Maybe I'm just like my mother, just like my daddy. Overnight lovers, falling for you. I'm falling for you. Maybe each other, maybe we're not. Don't wanna stop, I'm falling for you. Can't trust myself around you. Got me feeling faded when you're around. Need to feed this addiction. Let's go for rounds. You know how we get down. This love we make, it's got me so enraged. Oh, maybe I'm just like my mother, just like my daddy. Overnight lovers, falling for you. I'm falling for you. Maybe we're meant for each other, maybe we're not. I'm falling for you. Can't trust myself around you. I know I prayed for this and I deserve it. So I'm all in, 'cause I know I'm worth it. You make me feel crazy. It seems too good to be true. Maybe I'm just like my mother, just like my daddy. Overnight lovers, falling for you. I'm falling for you.
Hey, that was Miss Sharice Mills. Yes, it's all about you. That was sexy. But currently sitting in the studio, down on the end. Yes, he's finally here.
Finally.
Radio Rashid's in the building.
Hi, Rashid.
Thank you. What's going on, guys?
And sitting in the middle is the one and only incredible magazine mogul, editor-in-chief of so many periodicals. It's not funny. Belinda Trotter James.
Hi, Belinda. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Okay. All right. I just want to let y'all know that I am honored to have this young lady here today. Okay. I am honored to have this young lady here today because of the fact that she is an icon, a legend in the world of magazines. When I was younger, I used to read, as my counterpart says, I used to, go look in the store and try to buy some Word Up magazines.
Word Up.
Just to give us a background to start off with, Belinda, you started off not being in the role that you're currently in. You started off as a secretary, did you not?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you did your homework.
Miss James.
All the scoop.
Yes, we do our homework here, so this is research. So starting off as a secretary, you said the roles between a secretary and being an editor are very similar because of the sense that you have to make sure that your boss or the person that you're putting out his correspondence or anything else, you had to make sure that everything was typed correctly, looked correct, the letterhead was there, if there was a picture involved, so forth and so on.
Yeah, I just got to tell you a funny story. There was a boss I used to work for, and I was just a temp there. So he was looking for someone, to fill my spot because I was just a temp. And so she said, he had her do a letter. And so she said, how does this look? Is this right? And I said, ooh, girl, you're going to get this job. Go ahead. It was all messed up. The body of the letter, where the signature goes and everything. And I said, yeah, go ahead. Go take that in there. And she took it in there. The boss came out. Oh, he was so red in the face.
Oh, no.
And he said, you knew that was wrong and stuff. I said,
I don't know. Wanted to hire.
That's who you wanted to hire. I'm
Right.
like, this girl.
Wow.
So, I'm not giving
Wow.
away all my stuff. But yeah, the writing, the how you format the letter, the spelling, the grammar. I mean, everything. The sentence structure. I have people, writers that write to me, they want to write for my magazines, and I said, okay, send me a sample, and I got little red marks all over them because the thought is like 5 different thoughts in one sentence, and I'm like, oh my God, this is a skill that I have, so it does. And so when I was asked to be the editor with Word Up Publishing, I was like, me? What do I know? And then, what I want to say to you all is that when the door opens, don't look, go
Walk through
it.
it. Right. Correct.
No one asked me to be a surgeon. I knew I couldn't do that. So that's a door that would have never even opened.
Right.
But this door opened because there was a skill that I had inside that I didn't tap into because I didn't know I had it until I walked through the door, and I was like, oh, I can do this. Is this what an editor does?
Right.
It's just a different title. So when you're in the corporate world, it's called administrative assistant, secretary, and when you're in the publishing world, it's editor.
Well, you culminated one of the biggest magazines that took hip-hop to the next level. You were a pinnacle piece in making sure that the best and the biggest and brightest stars were in that magazine and showed a lifestyle or showed a piece of what that life was and gave us an insight that we didn't have, because back then, before Google and Twitter and Instagram and all these other things, you were it.
Right. Thank you. Yes. It was such a, and we didn't even know we were making history. You know,
Right.
I just
How
like
could
giving
you
out
not?
I just like giving out information.
yeah.
You know, and so I
Just
know
want to be a part of something.
Yeah, and I know these artists, you know, they want to get some kind of exposure, let people know they're here, and I want to let them know because I was all in the parties, in the
Right.
parks and stuff. So I was, you know, things just happen for a reason. I was just the right person to be there because I knew about the background, you know, about being in the parks and the DJ and the MC and stuff. So it was just such. We did Rap Masters, Word Up.
Correct.
I did Too Hype. And then, of course, I wanted, you know, since I was producing fashion shows and beauty
Hype hair.
pageants and stuff, I wanted to, you know, come up with some type of fashion magazine. And the editor was like, we do hip hop. You know, they're not into that. Yes, they are. Look at
Look at the style.
Flash and the Furious
Yes.
5. Did
Correct.
you see them outfits they wore? That's
Right.
fashion, you know?
Yes.
And so with Ice Cube, he had a jerry curl, and when he cut it off, I was like, ooh, yeah, he had a nice head, you know? I said, I'm putting him in the hair section. And I was friends with the people, editors at The Source, and they was like, you can't put Ice Cube in no hair section, you know, you can't.
Wow.
I was like, yeah,
Watch
I
me.
mean, yeah, watch me, you know? And so I did that with MC Light. We were showing how to do wigs back then. Yo, you dare not wear wigs, you know?
Nobody got to know. It had to look natural. Yeah.
So we was just you know, we did a little thing with that, and with Queen Latifah,
Salt and pepper.
we did something with the hair, combing your hair, you know, using the right, you know,
Combs,
tools to comb your
right.
hair. So I was just trying to merge the advertising with the
Nice.
artists, so we can, you know, get exposure in other arenas. So
Right.
I was ahead of my time without knowing I was ahead of my time.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well,
it was
beyond the head of your time, you were a pinnacle piece in a lot of people being able to step into different realms, because these advertisers would now come out and be like, hey, can we have this artist, you know, hold our product, or
Right.
can we have this artist do this? So you were a pinnacle piece in helping them to make money at that time as well.
Right, right. It was nice. That was nice to be a part of that. Yeah.
No, very dope. Even so, I started to do a little research, Mac, when you let me know who was going to be on the show. So I told my daughter's mother about you. She was like, wait, the one who was responsible for putting like salt and pepper up there? I used to
Hey.
have pictures on my wall. And we're talking about, you know, back, I want to say maybe 20 years ago,
Yes.
when I used to buy that magazine as well
Right.
and just cut it out. That's when people used
Right.
to still put photos on the
Correct.
wall.
Listen,
Before
I
we
had
had the
I had
pictures
Kim
on all
Fields.
that.
I had
Yeah.
Kim Fields and
Yes.
Salt and Pepper.
Yeah.
Salt was my
Yeah.
favorite. So it was Salt and Kim Fields. Those
Right.
were my two favorites.
So definitely ahead of time, like with the thinking, and it still affects people. Like till this day, it was like she got big eye. Like yes, oh that's her. It's like yeah, she's gonna be on the radio. yeah.
And it's so funny. So after my publisher saw that, oh, this is kind of like taking off, you know, as far as the fashion and stuff. And then that's when we sat down. And he said, okay, let's do a hair magazine. And that's when we came up with Hype Hair. And I
Right.
put
I remember
the
that.
hair police in it and the fashion
That,
police in
yes.
it. And I took students from art schools, and I said, can you draw me a caricature of, you know, policemen holding, you know, instead of a gun, a hair dryer, you
Right,
know,
right.
and then we'll say, you know, pull over, it's the fashion police, you
Right.
know, and stuff. And then that's how we put the fashion, and that's how we got Hype Hair together. Now, even though Word Up and Rap Masters is no longer with us,
Right.
Hype Hair is still the number one hair magazine.
Hello.
Or
That's
the
dope.
newsstand. What it's got to be 20 years by
Right.
now. So
Right.
I'm so grateful to the editor that's there now. She's still doing a good job keeping Hype
Keeping it
Hair
alive.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Very
yes,
dope.
Yes.
But not only did you do that, and it's still carrying forward, now you've stepped into a realm in the model world that gives models an opportunity in all different walks of life, even artists themselves, to facilitate, to have that moment in the spotlight to show how beautiful they are and show the greatness that they are in either their prospective vocations or jobs, as well as what you do outside in the world itself.
Right. This is the the magazine, and this is it, Modelosity Online. This is the magazine that I've always wanted to do, because a lot of our young artists, they get into the business and they have no idea what to do. So I have in here like the who, what, where, why, how, you know, and I try to make it a little fun. I try to make it short and sweet so that, you know, you pay attention. I try to do it in bite-sized pieces so that when a situation comes up, you know, a bell should go off in your head, you know, ding, 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 oh my God, you know. And let me just mention this. This is the book that I have out too for them. It's 108 Rules of Modeling.
Ooh,
Now,
I need that.
Now, I used to be a Mary Kay director. Yes, I won the card.
Yes, Mary Kay.
Yes,
I need some of that pink money. I need some of that pink money.
That is the best teaching I have ever had in my life, and it doesn't only apply to the cosmetics; it applies across the board. For example, so when I was doing the facials, you know, I would say, "Oh, I'd like to give you a facial," and so the record exec said to me, "Why? Does it look like I need a facial?" And I don't know if you guys watched the Flintstones, but remember when somebody said something to Fred and he turned this small? Well, last time I turned that to, oh my God. So I read, and so I went to Mary Kay, and that's why you got to have a good mentor behind you. And that's what this magazine is about, too, having a good mentor that tells you this is what's going to happen and this is what you're going to do. So she said to me, "Belinda, you need to, next time you say, do you want to have a facial?" And then she gives you that, then you say, "No, you look like you have fabulous skin and you use the best products. And I want to see how Mary Kay products compare to the ones you're doing. Now, when would you like to have a facial? Friday at 2 or Thursday at 1?
The delivery. It's all about the delivery.
And it was a yes. It wasn't a would you like a facial? No. It was a when would you like to have it? Tuesday or Friday? That's a yes. So that's what kind of information I'm giving you in here. When you go to an audition and something happens, or you know, you go to a photographer and something happens, you can open this. It's not a novel. You open it, and rule number 15 says, you know, and it sticks in your head.
That's a good way.
Mary Kay says you can eat an elephant one bite at a time. So all those teachings I've taken and I've put it into these publications, because we do have a music section in here as well. And when the young artists come to me and, you know, I see them in showcases and stuff, and I'm like, okay, you know, I'll give you a shout out in the magazine and put your single in there. They don't have a cover for their single.
Correct.
They don't have a bio, so I can say something about them.
EPK.
They don't have a picture. If they do have a picture, it's a selfie. And they got their head down. It's like, who's that? Can I see your face? You know, who is that? They don't have any of that. So all they know is to go to the showcase and they drop the mic, and they're a star now. They're a star, you know. And so it's like, okay, now you got to do the follow-up work.
Correct.
Well, you know, in this day and age, everything is instant. So for them, the moment that they take that picture with their head down and post it on Instagram, and they got 100,000 followers and 10,000 people like it, they swear they up and down cool. But not understanding that there's work that goes behind this actual discipline. There's more to this animal than just jumping on it and riding it. You got to learn the fundamentals of how to get on that horse.
And this is very cool, because it's almost like I'm into the music, so this is something that disappeared, I think, from the music industry, and it's called A&R, where it's kind of they groom the artists, you know. And with this, giving them rules, just like you said, a selfie doesn't mean that you're a model. Like, you've been doing this for years, you know what it takes for longevity. You'll get those 100,000 clicks, but it doesn't mean, you know, you'll see that longevity in the next year. It'll probably be just the name for right now. You know, let me give you the ingredients that you need to have a sustainable career in this, or, you know, to speak to the right people. So this is important. This is huge.
You know, for a minute, I thought I was just dinosaur. I'm like,
Oh no,
No.
you're
maybe
needed.
they don't
Oh,
do
no.
this no more.
You're
you know?
definitely
They
no.
No, they
No, no.
do.
We need that
Yes.
around in the culture, you know,
Absolutely.
because you know one person following the next person who's doing it wrong
Right.
isn't gonna get it right.
10,
So-
10 people running
Yeah.
wrong,
Yeah.
and nobody running right.
right. So no, you're still needed. You don't want to leave the game right now.
And so we also came up, well, we had another magazine, and this is online, that's why I just have it like this, but it's Titanium Girls, and then
Okay.
we're going to do Platinum Girls, Super Platinum Girls, and look,
Nice.
if you can't beat them, join it.
Why not?
These girls are out there, you know, with the little eeny-weeny bikinis, and, you know, they doing their thing, they living their life, so fine, let me make up something really nice for them so they
Right.
can take home to grandma, you know, say, look, you know, and we make it look really nice. So
That's
we're having
dope.
a casting coming up on July
24th.
24th. Yes, at between 6 to 2 in Midtown. 36 West 44th Street is on Instagram and all my social media pages. And we're going to be looking for those girls. And so when you come in there, you better come correct. I'm not going
Right.
to tell you right then and there because I'm not there to teach you right,
Right.
then and there. But don't come with no selfies. I don't want to look on your phone to look at your photo. You know, I don't want you going to the drugstore, you know, and hurry up and get
Hop in the
another
booth.
copy, of your photo and stuff. That means that's telling me you're not serious about your craft, about really getting into this industry. So why should I waste a page in this magazine for you if you're not even serious?
It's
You-
called a comp card.
Yeah.
You need to come with that. You need to come with that has an outline of who you are and a few of the photos that are extremely well taken. Not your brother holding the camera.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the thing too. Are you guys the one that give them the cover that produces the pictures, or it's the pictures that they bring?
It's both. So I'm giving them that opportunity. Like I'm in New York, so we can't, everybody can't get to New York to do a photo shoot with us. So, but if you got a team, like when I was younger, I was the model, my friend was the photographer, because that's what he wanted to do. My other friend was the stylist. We got together and see where we are today.
Right.
You know, my friend is the lead makeup artist on Power now. So that's what we did. So if you're doing that and you in Ohio somewhere, do it, and then you can submit it to me. And if it's good, I will definitely put it in there. I will give you,
So you
that
can be in the
shot.
cornfield
Right.
holding up the ear corn. As long as you sexy with that corn.
Do it right.
Sexy,
You know,
do it right.
do it right. Then we can make it happen.
And I want to give a shout out too, because we're doing a beat shootathon, or we do a shootathon, and my friend Mr. Don. I mean, this is such a brilliant idea.
I'll be there.
I mean, he has this platform where he has 100 photographers
Yes.
and set designs and the models and makeup artists, hairstylists. Everybody comes together. Everyone needs their photos, their portfolios built. So the makeup artist gets photos because she did the makeup, and the hairstylist, and it's just a wonderful thing. And the girls pay one fee, and they get to shoot with all different photographers, which is what you need for a portfolio. You can't have one photographer do your whole portfolio.
But then at the same time, these photographers, these makeup artists, and all these other people get the opportunity to perfect their craft right then and there
That's
as well.
right. That's right.
So more or less it's like
everybody
class.
gets photos. Everybody gets their photos, so you can, But some of the girls.
I already know where she's going.
I want to give a shout out to Main Concept. They're a wig company. They're gonna give me a whole bunch of wigs. Some of the girls, they don't come with their hair done. It's everything. It's got to be the hair, the makeup, the outfit. And you got to pose, and then the photographer got to know about his lighting. Lighting is everything.
Yes, it
I'm just
is.
loving this lighting in here. So everything has to come together for you to be in here. And I don't understand how girls look at my magazines or any of the fashion magazines, and they don't see that, and then you give me that thing, that photo that you give me.
Right.
And you don't see what's wrong with it, So, but everybody's a model these days, so and that's all right. So
I was about to say.
So that's all right, because that's why I have this magazine too. Because if I can't get you through the front door, I'm going to get you through the side door. I'm
Right.
going to get you through the basement. I'm going to get you through the roof, and then, example, Jennifer Hudson. She was on American Idol. Let's just say she wanted to be a model, but she had to go through the other door to be a singer. Now look at this. She's on red carpet.
Right.
She had to go through another door to get to where she wanted to be. But everybody, they want to be sexy and glamorous. You don't want to be the girlfriend or the girl next door. You don't want to be the little sister. I want to be the glamour girl. I want to go through the front door. You can't go through the front door right now. Let me get you through the side door.
Get
and
noticed,
pull
get
you,
exposure.
and then we're going to sneak you in. And boom, you'll be in the front door. So that's what the magazines are about. To give you that kind of information so you don't fall, or when you fall, you don't fall hard.
Right.
That's all.
That's dope.
Not only are you doing that, but you are giving light to women of all sizes, of all natures, that they could facilitate to get an opportunity to live their best life. And I appreciate the fact that you don't represent one size. I appreciate the fact that you give each model, whether they're voluptuous, whether they are, you know, the traditional model, the in between voluptuous and, you know, traditional model, an opportunity to shine.
Well, when I first started, my girlfriend, Benja K. Little, she's a fabulous actress, and she's full-figured, and she said, you know, Belinda, we should do a competition for the full-figure girls. And I'm like, what? They want to be on stage? Okay. I didn't care. You know, you want to be on stage? But I'm going to show you how to be on stage. I'm not just throwing you on stage. So it was the Miss Big Beautiful Doll competition. We did that for 7 years, and we had a 7-week program where we made sure each of them can compete equally, so that we had makeup and hair and undergarments that you could wear, and we had designers come in, and it was wonderful. And then after the 7 years, I had got a call, and that's when I got into Word Up, and so I had left it. And then one of my contestants, shout out to Teresa Randolph, she's doing the Miss Full Figure USA pageant. She's been doing that for 27 years. That was one of my contestants, so she spent off and she ran with it. So I'm just it's just bigger than me now. So that's it's wonderful that turned like that. I'm like, thank goodness, you know, now everyone gets. See, and that's what I mean. Let me get you through the door another way, you know?
But there's also a process that you are a correspondent yourself. You do correspondence in different venues and different places as well. I've seen you throughout the time shooting with Hot 914.
Yeah, Sean Montgomery.
Yes. DJ Money Making, a.k.a. the Cold War Soldier.
Right? Yes.
I've seen you shoot your own on your own platform. Now, tell me what it is that in all these different realms, what's the if you want to say the common piece or the cohesiveness that keeps everything flowing? Because you are in a lot of different places doing a lot of different things.
Yeah, it's called iModel News. So we go on location to different fashion shows to see what's out there, you know, to see an actual fashion show. So our, you know, aspiring models can see what it is to actually be in a fashion show, what goes on behind the scenes and stuff. And here we are behind the scenes, you know, here we are step by step to show you what's happening, so that when it's time for you to do it, you're not shocked or, I don't know what to do. You know, what you mean you didn't know? If this is the, you know, the industry you want to be in, what do you mean you don't know? So I'm trying to be that insider, you know, I'm trying to give you the sneak peek to what's going on inside, you know, so that's what that's all about. So that's how they all come together, and we can take still pictures, and of course, they go in the striker pose section. So we try to teach the girls too how to strike a pose in different situations, whether it be with children, how to walk with children, how to walk with a pet, or if you fall, what happens, you know, what do you do when you fall?
Strike a pose.
This is what, yes. You strike a pose, girls. Pretend like it's part of the show.
That's right.
You know.
Do a little roll and
roll, and they love it, you know. And then you got to know the difference between, you know, a high fashion show and your community show.
Yeah.
Your
The
fashion
urban.
show, the urban
Yeah,
show. You
yeah.
know, we love to see the tricks and stuff.
Yeah.
Don't you do that.
Right.
Christian,
Right.
your Louboutin
Yeah.
show. Don't you
Right
do
on
that
that.
on those high end shows. No. So, yeah, so you got no difference.
Cool. Now, besides the book that you bought, I started to do a little research. Now, the power of the curves. Since you brought up the voluptuous models,
Yes.
do you ever see yourself doing kind of more codes or rules type books in different areas of this industry that we have? Like, do you have anything geared up that's coming out, or you putting your author hat kind of to the side, or how's it going with you?
Yeah, all of it. Every time I see something, it's a book.
Gotcha.
A book is coming out,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
So I'm sure once I have this casting on
Mhm.
July, 24th, it's going to be another book, because
Gotcha.
I'm sure I'm going to see some things that's like.
Right.
I said, oh, that's right. This is a new generation.
Yes.
Nobody didn't tell this generation how to do that, you know.
Right.
Gotcha.
So Power of the Curves is, and that book was created because the full figure girl felt, she wasn't confident enough
Right.
to be on stage because of her size, and that's why we created the Miss Beautiful Doll pageant to say, no, once
Right.
we prepare you, you'll be fine on stage,
Right.
Right. And it's so funny that all my staff was full figure but me, and I was and back then I was like size. Nothing. What's she doing here? She just a stick. What's she doing here? But I felt I was just on the opposite end of the scale. No
Right.
clothes fit me either because I was too skinny. No clothes fit you because you were voluptuous or whatever.
Right.
But it's so funny that once we did the pageants and got the girls together,
Mhm.
nobody paid attention to me. They paid attention to them because they was blah blah woo, it's like woo, and I was like in the back. It is so good, but Vivica Fox is in that book, and she had came out with a line of broads for full figures. Lunel was in there, and she talked about just being a comedian, a full figure comedian.
Right.
And I had another as a teacher, and she talked about getting that surgery, to
like
lose
maybe
the weight, the lipo.
Lap band or
Lap band.
lap band or
Yes,
Okay.
yes, the lap band. Yes,
Okay.
and it was. I love that story so much because it tells how you lose friends. You don't only lose the weight; you lose the friends too, because you're not the big one and the biggest one in the group anymore. Now all of a sudden you're getting the attention. So before you get that surgery, you have to go to a psychiatrist, so
Yes.
they can make sure that
Prepare
you're
you
going to be
mentally.
mentally
Absolutely.
prepared to go through that. So, and then we have 17 other models in there, full figure models that tell their journey and their story. And that book was put out for those full figures that needed some kind of inspiration.
Right.
And of course, in the book also has rules, because the same rules go for no matter what size you. It's
Right.
the same rules,
Right.
You better know how to pose. You
Right.
better, that makeup better be
Right.
good.
Yeah.
So it's the same rules. So.
Gotcha.
Well,
Yeah.
just to let you know, sitting to my right is a cover model who has been in print, who has graced the cover, who has been inside, who has had articles written on her as well. And I just wanted to highlight the fact that there are people here who don't see women of size as the pinnacle of where industry is going, but they
Right.
should, because
yeah.
there's a lot of voluptuous, beautiful, sexy women. And I don't like to use size as a catalyst. I believe models comes in all sizes. There is no such thing as a specific type model. Now, I know in society they have put this, film together, and they said, okay, this is what the model's supposed to look like.
Right.
No, actually, there isn't. And in this day and age, I'm glad that people are starting to go, listen, when we put this line out, we got to put this line out with everybody in mind.
Oh, yeah.
Because we can't because you know how much money we're missing if we don't. And I think that's where I find people like yourself who are speaking to existence the process of what y'all have, get out of that mode of thinking. You know, you are a pinnacle in the actual magazine world that has changed a lot of minds throughout the years with what you do. And I just want to celebrate you and thank you for being that person. And not only just that person, the first person to spearhead a lot of this stuff, because before you took over Word Up, there weren't a lot of periodicals that even wanted to have anything to do with hip hop or, you know, in any way, shape, or form wanted to know what it was about. You gave a broad perspective. I mean, beautiful articles, incredible photos into what it was at that time to be in that realm. Now, is there anybody at that time that you wanted to have in that you didn't get in?
Nope.
That's what I thought.
Wow.
Because I've seen everybody in, no lie, I've seen everybody back then. I don't know, you know, because like she said, it's no longer being published, but back then there wasn't a rapper that was out then that was not in Word Up magazine.
Right. And I like to give a shout out to the late Biggie Smalls, who has
God bless.
cemented Word Up in his song. So thank you so much.
I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and pepper up in the limousine.
Sure did.
Rap Tack, Mr. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say is, but you know what? And seeing you gives me not even the word hope, but a pinnacle to reach for. I see the years of painstaking work, but if those people don't come back and go, Belinda, thank you, something's wrong. Because you launched a lot of careers. You made a lot of people known that weren't really known. Because, like I said, the people in the industry at the time, R&B was king. Rock was king. Rap, what's that?
Right.
What you rapping? Presents?
Right.
They didn't know what it was about.
Right.
And you gave a platform, a light, a beacon to those who didn't know what it was, but were kind of like peeking on the side trying to figure out what it was.
Right.
You put them in the spotlight, and they had to take notice. They had to understand what rap was.
Right.
And I want to say thank you.
Yes.
Most certainly.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Thank you.
And I just want to piggyback on what you said about the different sizes and stuff. So there are the standard model is still 0 to 2 or 4. And then you got the full figure that starts maybe at 14 to 24. And when we're doing the pageant, the size 14 one. She's not no real full figure.
Right.
She's a 14. So now you got that, and then the supermodel Cynthia Bailey said, "I'm a full figure. I'm a size 8." That's not a full figure. So they keep changing it. Size
See
8
full
is not
figure
full
in her
figure.
mind. See full figures.
So we got this new category called curvy now.
Yes.
So
I'm
that's
sitting
what
next
we're
to
gonna
one.
put.
Yes.
Yes. Fabulous and curvy.
Yes.
So it's not,
Sexy
I'm
goddess.
I'm not full figure. Oh, come on, So it's the standard. That's what we always know is the standard. That little stick model. Standard. That's what she is. That's it. That's always going to be. Yes. If you don't fit in that, then you don't try to squeeze yourself in there.
Right.
We're going to put you in the next category.
That's
all.
That's
the
right.
curvy girls.
Right.
That's right.
That's what. And then if you're not curvy, you're a little bigger than that. Then yeah, you're a full figure. That's the other door. Come on.
Right.
You will never be in that category.
Yes.
Unless-
Actually, it took me a little while to get that when I started doing the modeling and started to go to castings. Someone would just say, "Come on, Tony, come with me to casting." I'm like, "Okay," and I go in there and I see the standard model, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, "Okay, let me walk." As soon as I walk, everybody's like turning their head, talking, and I'm like, "Okay, this is not for me."
Right.
And then I had to eventually learn what was for me.
Right.
And then I started to find my category, and then they said, "Oh no, Miss Tony, you're full figure." Yeah, I didn't fit into that category either.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
curvy, that's me. That's where I am now.
Right. And then when we do a fashion show, that's where we incorporate
Correct.
everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, because I was a curvy model
Yeah, you
back
were.
in the day. See what happened was.
You were,
No?
babe.
No,
Yeah,
I
you
wasn't in
was.
there? All right.
Full figure.
Full figure? Wow, man down. Code 6.
Shaquille O'Neal and J.C. Penney is doing some
That's
kind
correct.
of full-figured men
That's correct.
competition.
That's correct.
I'm like, oh, right.
Actually, I know one of the people that are going out for his actual show. He's been in print. He's been in a lot of different ads. Hopefully he gets it. And then Christina Mendez. She is definitely one that I applaud with all of the different actual venues that she's been on. She's been on news. She's been in QVC. She's been in a lot of different places promoting the curvy world, and she's basically, cemented or lamented herself in that realm. Where does Belinda Trotter James goes from here? Because listen, you have
She probably don't
you
even know
listen,
herself.
you took us from the beginning, and now we here. Where we going?
And you're a walking blessing, so you got to keep going.
Keep
So
moving.
what is next?
You know what? It's so funny. Every time I ask myself that question, a door opens. So that's why I don't have the answer to that, because a door's going to open. I'm okay. Let me
Right.
walk through that
Right,
one and see
right.
what's over here.
Yeah.
That's
So
good.
right now, I'm just concentrating on just putting these books out to get the information out to these girls. Maybe I'll turn into a modeling agency. Maybe I'll turn into workshops again. Because that's why I loved doing the workshops. Because I just can't stand seeing a girl come into my castings and got it all wrong. It's like, come here. Come here. You stay right here. I can talk to you, So that's what I really, really enjoy. And I enjoy the publishing because I can sit at home. I'm not trying to
I
run
hear that.
around no more.
I hear that.
That's not true. I saw you out just the other day.
I know.
Um,
I'm not trying
and
to
I
run as much.
want to call her name correct. MC Shakur.
Oh, Sharon.
Shirok.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
I saw you out with her. Y'all were sitting together like two peas in a pod.
She's getting ready to come out with a movie, and so she called me. It's so funny. Again, divine intervention. My cousin called me, who he does a lot of security, for a lot of the artists. So she calls him because she knew him for a long time and said, "Do you know anyone that writes scripts?" He said, "Yeah, I'll call my cousin Belinda." I don't write scripts, but somebody on my team writes scripts.
There you go.
And who is it? Dana Dane.
Hold up.
Yes.
Wait. Now stop this.
Yes,
Don't start me
here
to
we
crying up in
go.
here. Listen. I not only wanted her, because I actually emailed her, and I
Okay.
was hoping that she says yes, and I'm
Okay.
still waiting to hear back.
Okay.
So if you can influence that, but
Intent.
and Dana, I would love to talk to. Now I know he lives out west,
Yes.
but
Yes.
we can Skype him in.
Okay.
I want to have him on as well because listen, Dana Dang, Slick Rick, all these fellas, you taking me to another realm because this is where hip hop is key, where you had to be a wordsmith
Right.
in order to make people pay attention. Now you can go, Hana, and all of a sudden you got a song. I'm like, what the hell is that? That's not music. I know, Big Chuck. I know you somewhere cursing me out, but I'm sorry. Like, what happened to words? They mean something.
You have to go on YouTube and look at the lyrics and say, "Oh, that's what
That's
they
what-
That's
said."
not. Listen.
Now you can go back to the concert and now you can sing along.
Well, I want to do that reading. I'm gonna read Modelosity, but
There you go.
there is a process that I would love to have. The I call them the fathers of hip hop, the pinnacles of hip hop. Here, I talked to lot of their different managers, publicists, and all this other stuff. What they don't understand is by standing back in the background sometimes, you're not letting people know what the history is. People know history's out there. That's why we have people like Lil Yachty talking about, I don't know who Biggie was. He said, I know I'm better than him. Like, what? What were you smoking, brother? When you woke up today, you hit your head, didn't you? You hit your head.
That's ridiculous.
Because if you, and Flex has been on the show, and he talked about it. He said, maybe I pushed him into, you know, a corner, and he felt like he had to say something. Nah, brother, that brother thought what he said was correct.
Right.
But, and I make jokes with Flex every time I see him. I was like, bruh. And he starts laughing every time he sees me because it's in and of itself a process that a lot of these people don't understand the beginning. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you were the beginning. You took a genre, and as there was a video music box, as there was these shows that started to come out, you were the first show, but in periodical form. You were in magazine, the rag trade as they call it, creating a platform that was a solid foundation for which hip hop sits on today. So I'm not just wanting you here just because I want to talk to Belinda Drada Dayton. I want to say thank you. Because you are key to the success as to why hip hop can thrive. And I want to thank you for being the first to celebrate us out there in the world and letting people see it.
Oh, certainly.
And on the next
But you know, it's funny because, you know, by the time the magazines did come out, it was because they were now on wax. So now the ones that were in the park, you forgot about them.
Right.
See, because they were the first.
Correct.
And because of the popularity, we had to sell magazines. So that's why you see the same artists on there, because
Correct.
they were selling, you know, tons of records and people wanted to see them. And then the ones that were in the park, in the background, they didn't get that opportunity, and I couldn't find them. I don't know if they didn't want to be in the, I don't know how they got lost to where I couldn't pull them up in the magazine as well. And you see they had that the women in hip hop, and you know, that special show they had, and they tried to bring those you know, back. And so now, you know, that's why Charac has to come out with her movie.
Correct.
Because she is, you know, the first female rap, and everybody, somebody's trying to dispute that. But you have to go back to old flyers. You have to really go back. So that's why somebody has to tell a story. You know, we got to find. And those guys are at those old school hip hop.
Yes, they are.
So
yes,
you
they
gotta
are.
catch them and bring them on the show so they can tell that story.
Oh, no, that's
Or
not
have
a problem.
Oh, that's not a problem? Okay, great.
Well, listen, wherever you are, I want to be. 'Cause I know you're there.
Yes.
I've seen many different times throughout the realm, I'll see a picture of you. You're taking pictures with the people you helped put out there, and they embrace you still, and they're like, listen, she's it. She was the one that did this for us. Because their names, they became superstars throughout the world. That magazine wasn't just here. There were kids in Brazil who knew about it. There was kids in London who knew about it. There was kids in...
International.
It was an international magazine. Whether they couldn't get it in there, somebody sent it to them.
Right.
That means something in this world. And I want to tell you thank you.
And I can't remember. I went to Philly. I went on a press junket with another artist, and he does major videos. He had a whole stack of Word Up magazines,
Hello.
and they were in pristine condition.
Hello.
Oh my
Hello.
God. So
even though you may not know what the next thing is that you that you haven't stepped into yet, what words or parting wisdom can you give to our guests that might be up and coming that will help them to, besides 108 rules that they need to, what imparting words could you give them that will help them to?
Well, first of all, it's going to be a lot of tests. And the tests are, do you really want this? So if you really want to be a rapper, there's going to be so many things thrown at you to make you fall on purpose. And sometimes if they can't get to you directly because you're that strong person, I can take anything, they're going to get to someone close to you.
That's right.
A family member or whatever is going to try to discourage you. So all kinds of daggers are going to be coming at you. And you're going to find yourself by yourself. You're going to find yourself frustrated, lonely. Do I want to do this? Now you're doubting yourself.
Right.
And as soon as you start questioning yourself, that spirit opens up that door and all the negative stuff starts pouring in, you know, with great speed. Right. So you have to always stay positive. And if you come to a situation that you don't know what to do, you're supposed to go to a place. Look, sometimes you don't have a quiet place. Go to the bathroom and just sit down for like 5 minutes. All of us have these cell phones. Just put the timer on for 5 minutes and sit quietly. Either you can ask a question, please tell me what to do, please send someone, please give me favor, or you could just sit quietly. Usually when you have a problem, you run into the problem, you pick up the phone, what should I do? And as this human, you think you can fix it. But no, you're this spiritual being in this human body. That's why it's no coincidence why you had that first guest here, you know. So that's why in that moment when that situation comes, when you need something, you have to sit quietly. And all kinds of thoughts are going to be going through your head because you know you're thinking about and how do you quiet that mind? You can either just say I am, and that's supposed to be God's name. That's God's name. So you're just supposed to say I am. Once you keep repeating that, your mind quiets itself. And even when you're in the shower, that water running on you, or when you're in the bathtub, the water running through you, you'll start getting all kinds of ideas and answers to your questions. I mean, I can't tell you. Anytime I have a problem, it's like, let me go take a bath.
Right.
let me go in the shower and get some water on me.
Refreshing.
I need some answers. You know? Or you just sit quietly, and you'll find that once you sit for 5 minutes, you'll be able to sit for 10, 15, 20, 25. But all you need is 5 good minutes. That's all you need, and you get all the answers that you need.
I said this last week, I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to keep saying it. The one and only Tyler Perry said, help people to cross. He said, when you reach that other side, and you know what that other side is like, and you know it's a great side to be on, he said, don't forget to go back and help someone to cross. And you've done a lot of that throughout your time to help people to cross. I notice in this industry, and I've been doing this for a good number of years myself, and I've seen a lot of people who are not willing to go, hey, come with me. They go, I'm here. What you doing? It's like, I'm waiting just to do like you. Oh, okay, cool.
Keep it moving.
And they keep it moving like you don't exist.
Right.
That for me, I don't see in you. I've seen 1,000 times where you grab someone and say, let me help you to cross. And I appreciate you doing that in this industry, because a lot of people wouldn't be where they are if you didn't help them to cross.
And it's so funny because you see people cross and they go so far and you're still right here. And you feel, why am I still right here? And they have crossed, and I have helped them to cross. But I'm supposed to be here. Because I have everything I need. I have a wonderful family, a career. I love what I do. So I'm kind of good right now. I would love to be there with them, you know, too.
Oh, no.
But,
See,
yeah.
I got an answer for you. There's always a crossing guard that's needed.
Right.
There's always somebody who needs to be in the middle to help people to get there. You've done that for so many.
Yes.
And I've watched you throughout your career. I, like I said, grew up reading Word Up. I've watched you throughout your career help so many people that right now, like you said, all the way up there.
Right.
But they needed that crossing guard to get them there.
Right.
Yeah.
And I understand that, and I'm comfortable with that. The humanness in you says, "Oh."
Of course, and that's natural. But you're just the catalyst, and that's the universe has blessed you with just being the catalyst. And now that you understand that role, like you said, you have a beautiful family. You're where you're at, and then you come to terms with that's my role in life, and just touching people. And it was hard. I share that experience. I went to school for music. You know, you're coming up, you're 18, 19, you're thinking that you're just going to be this next
Puffy.
big thing.
I'm in. I'm P. Diddy.
I was the next pup. But then once you learn that, you know, maybe I'm doing this for a niece, or maybe I'm doing this to teach someone else to do this, and maybe they'll take the torch. You come to a point where it's like, you know what, I was down and out. I'm not reaching my max of potential, what I thought it was, but maybe I am the crossing guard. You know, I still have it in me to teach someone else to take it to where they need to take it.
Correct.
You know, the caddies to Tiger Woods. The caddy would never be Tiger Woods, but he's making Tiger Woods who he is. But you may not hear of the person that's helping him use the 2 iron.
That's right.
Use the 3 iron.
That's right.
You know, and when you accept that role, then I think you realize that you're where you're supposed to be. You could have been one of those people who you think is elevated, but you don't know the problems they have. At the end of the day, they in that, you know, they in that Bentley mansion just crying, just not feeling like they have a beautiful family. Just, you know.
Listen.
So I don't. You just can't envy. You just have to, you know, accept it. You know, and you're still playing a major part. Major part.
Thank you.
And I believe everything that you touch does turn to gold. Modelocity is about a year and some change?
Yeah, I started it in 2010.
10. Okay.
And stop. You know, things happen. Oh, not happen. Oh, I got a team. Oh, I don't have a team. You know, and I just keep getting up. And I said, God, forget it. I'm not doing this. And all of a sudden, things just start dropping in my lap. And I always look at signs. I'm like, oh, here we go again. Okay, it's a sign. Supposed to keep. Okay, here we go. So here we are.
There we go.
Here we are.
There we go.
Tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Oh, yes.
I'm on Instagram as I think I'm on as a lot. Either you can find me as Modelocity.
Yeah.
You can find me as Belinda Trotter James. I have Belinda Trotter James just in case you don't know I got married. You know, it's like Belinda James. No, we don't know her, but we know Belinda Trotter. I'm the same one. So So Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Twitter, did I say? YouTube. Yeah, I don't do Pinterest. I don't know how to do Snapchat. You know, those other ones are enough. So you can find me if you really want me. You can find me.
And I did, and I want to thank DJ Money Making, the Cold War Soldier, because he talked about you greatly as to who you are and what you do in this industry. And like I said, for me, when I find out about a guest, I'm like, whoa. And when I read up on you, I was like, whoa. You gave me that whoa moment. There's some people who walk in here, I'm like, yeah, I got you.
Right.
But there's when I get that whoa moment, it's like, whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
Special.
you were definitely a whoa moment, because I'm like, this woman was the pinnacle of so many things in this world, and I'm just scratching the surface. If I could have you here for another 2 hours, I would. Just because of the fact that your career is more than I think 30 shows can handle, because you've done so much in this world. And like I said, I wanted to take the opportunity to celebrate you today. And that's what the show is about, celebrating people's careers, accolades, and what they are passionate about.
Okay, thank you. And I just want to say you can get the magazine on ModelocityOnline.com. You can get the books on, I would shout out to Amazon. You can get it on Amazon as well.
iTunes?
And if, no.
Okay.
And I even opened up my calendar that if, you know, aspiring models want to talk to me, they can go to ModelocityOnline.com. My calendar is there. And they can click on the link and they can make an appointment to speak to me, you know. So, yeah.
Are you taking open submissions? How are you doing this? It's yearly? Is it
the magazine
monthly?
The magazine is monthly. So I did take the summer off just to regroup because we have some other magazines that we're getting ready to publish. So I just wanted to take these 2 months just to really get it together, you know. And we'll start up again in September. So our next summer issue is going to come out in the next few days. And yeah.
And once again, congratulations on 30 years
Thank you.
in the actual rap trade.
Thank you.
You've done a lot over the 30 years and more to come.
Oh, yes.
And we appreciate you being who you are in this industry. And thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for finding me.
No problem. Once again, it's your boy Mac 357 and your girl.
Miss Tony's in the building.
And rounding out the top 3 is
Radio Rashid.
Yay.
all right. So we're gonna be right back momentito, and then we're gonna close out the show in great fashion. We're gonna talk to each other. We're gonna find out more about Radio Rashid,
Yes, sir.
and we're gonna try to get him to stay with us.
Let's do it.
We'll be right back.
I'm just warming up. Come on, Jan. Turn me up. Turn me up. Hi. Hi. Yo, yo.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the My milkshake brings all the boys to the bar. I looked at him and that boy got hard. The next morning he bought me a go yard, but as you may know, we didn't get too far. Wiggle the dizzle, baby, it's a little. And I ain't saying I'm a gold digger, but I ain't fucking with a broke nigga. Wiggle the dizzle, baby, it's a little. And I ain't saying I'm a gold digger, but I ain't fucking with a broke. In the back of the club, drinking rum. In the back of my booty go dum. And I know you man, y'all want some. To the left, y'all can't have none. In the back of the club, drinking rum. In the back of my booty go dum. And I know you man, y'all want some. To the left, y'all can't have none.
I got no luck with you. Mad I'm stuck with you. I don't give a fuck what you say. I don't really fuck with you. I got no luck with you. I will never be mad I'm stuck with you. Never be captain. I don't give a fuck what you say. I will always be. I don't really fuck with you. Always be captain slave rock.
Let's go. Let's go.
Put a game. 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 When I step on the dance floor, everybody wanna run. Now it's time to see who's really gonna go dumb. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's put that way. Put a game. 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 Put a game.
Let's go. Let's go.
I'm always working, never sleeping, looking like a zombie. Go around my neck, that shit be on tsunami. Making beats and writing songs, you know that's my hobby. Want some diamonds to be skating like I'm Sidney Crosby. I'm always working, never sleeping, looking like a zombie. Go around my neck, that shit be on tsunami. Making beats and writing songs, you know that's my hobby. Want some diamonds to be skating like I'm Sidney Crosby. Skating hard, making money for my check like Nike boys, but we making more than 3 stripes. Shawty fake, but she run up from my deck like coldest boys, you could check up on my neck, guys. I got the bag, all now I want is the potion. I'm a drippy looking title, make sure you're not in the ocean. Got a baddie from Bahamas, smelling like money and lotion. If you want it, come and get it, just know that I won't be hosting. You come up, you want it, no need for any taunting. My heart cold like the season, cause my love cannot be bought. She say I'm acting stupid, and I think that I'm just fooling. Thinking that you have some time for me, well I guess you be fooling them. I'm always working, never sleeping, looking like a zombie. Go around my neck, that shit be on tsunami. Making beats and writing songs, you know that's my hobby. Want some diamonds to be skating like I'm Sidney Crosby. I'm always working, never sleeping, looking like a zombie. Go around my neck, that shit be on tsunami. Making beats and writing songs, you know that's my hobby. Want some diamonds to be skating like I'm Sidney Crosby. No Johnny Dang, cause you know who makes her change, yeah. We been ballin' since the jump, you just a stain, yeah. I wanna know about all the drama, hit me with some Novocaine. I've been wildin' like Cool Runnings, cause you know I can't be tamed.
Hey, once again, it's your boy Mac 357 and your girl
Miss Tony's in the building.
And rounding out the top 3 is
Radio Rashid.
Hey! Oh my goodness. Yo, it went down today. Belinda Trotter James.
Awesome.
Incredible guest. Oh, yeah. I didn't mean to make her cry online.
Yeah.
But she's a beautiful spirit.
Yeah. She felt that.
Listen, that's what this show. If we can move people, this is what the show is about.
That's why you guys got to come to the evening experience. Subscribe.
Hello. And then somebody got left a gift.
Yes. Discipline.
Yeah, EL Discipline was in the building.
World.
Oh my God, look guys, look.
Yes.
And he autographed it for her. Thank you, Discipline.
Go.
Thank you, Discipline. Look at that. It says Miss Tony on there.
That's dope.
Oh, yeah. It is. I can't wait to read it. I'll let you guys know how it goes down.
No, that's all right. Nice. All I want to say is today was a beautiful day.
It was.
We got incredible, heartfelt. So that's why I want you to be a part of this show.
Yes.
So let's delve into Radio Raheem.
Yeah.
Now,
Who
y'all don't
is?
understand.
Yes. So
I said Radio Raheem.
That's a good
Rashid.
segue though. So Radio Raheem, of course, Do the Right Thing.
Yeah.
By Spike Lee.
Yeah.
I used to work for this finance company. There was this white boy there, and that's the only reference he knew for hip hop was Radio Raheem.
Get out.
And I controlled the music in the office because they knew that like I went to school for music technology and everything.
Wow.
So it kind of came together like Radio Rashid naturally.
Right.
So I just took it and ran with it.
Okay.
So the tongue twist with the Radio Raheem was 5. That happens all the time. What I did is I'm 32 in October. I started to
Still a youngin'.
You know, and that's why I wanted to come to the show
Just
to learn the properness to do this whole radio thing because I do podcasts.
Yes.
Well, there's technique to this.
I will tell you this. Is behind the podcast. Yeah. He has his own show. Right. I think you have your first guest coming on this week.
Yeah, we just wrapped up one, so it's Behind the Music, the podcast, and what I like to do, which is why Belinda is so like she needs to stay in the game because what I like to do is I like to do shows about people in the past. There's a lot of people growing up. Right, there's a lot of people growing up who really don't know who our legends in the game
Where have
are.
they been? Where are they now?
Exactly.
Well,
Like I did shows on Buju Banton. I did shows on all of the like kind of artists that we need to know about, and that's bring history to the game.
Well, which is why I wanted you here.
Yeah.
Because you bring a certain realm. I've seen you in real life.
Yeah.
I've seen you talk to people, and I like what you brought here today.
Yeah.
So I'm saying stay.
Oh yes. Listen, we're gonna work out a schedule.
Yes.
We talked about that. I'm gonna try to get a schedule going. So I
Every
can be here.
Thursday, 5 to 7.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. So we're gonna get that going.
What got you into wanting to do music?
So I went to Stony Brook because I thought I wanted to do science. I was into that whole. I thought I wanted to travel down the medical field. So that's why I went to Stony Brook my first year. But while I was sitting in chem class, I couldn't stop thinking about beats and music. And I just purchased my first iMac ever. Never had one before. GarageBand. So I started to record myself. And I'm like, this science thing isn't for me. So then I left. I went to Mercy here in New York. And then I started to study music technology. And then just kept with that.
Well, music is science.
Music
too.
is definitely science.
You could get a BS in.
Oh yeah. So I wound up graduating there. I did do a BS in music and technology, and then a minor in science. So it worked out.
Right.
I wish financially it showed its face a little more.
It worked out, right?
But,
I got you.
Listen,
it will.
You got to sometimes support your craft until the day comes, and you got to keep at it.
Right.
So I did the music thing for a while. I did some production. There's a video out there floating to me. I used to be into electronic dance music, so I did a couple of. I dabbled EDM. I did, yeah. And then I kind of settled in just doing this type of work, just trying to just pass gifts along, equipment that I use, technology along, each one teach one type of vibe.
Right,
So that's what I like doing now.
What is the behind the scenes part? Because I noticed you put that as your title of your show.
Yes.
What is the behind the scenes?
So behind the music, I call it that because there's a lot of times you'll listen to a podcast of mine, right? If we're talking about, for instance, the Bougie Bonton one, everyone likes to talk about the music part, but no one talks about the history of him growing up, or no one talks about, maybe his criminal life or why he had a criminal past. That's the kind of stuff that I like to talk about. Just talk about the record, but then where did he record it? What studio did he record it in? Who was the mixing engineer? Who was the studio personnel? So that's the kind of stuff that I like to get into because I like this technical aspect of it. So if I talk about an album, most recently I did Bloom, this young lady from Texas, her name is LaVoice, and I messaged her. I told her I like to work with independent artists now. So I asked her who recorded it, who mixed it, why were you interested in doing it, who wrote it, anything that has to do just not with anything on the surface. That's what I like to talk about.
Nice.
So that's where the behind the music comes in. Just not stating the obvious. Let's dig in a little deeper.
Right.
That's what I like.
Well, I like to dig deeper on the guests that come here in the sense that I like to know where they started.
Yes.
Because Belinda did not expect for me to know that she was a
secretary.
Yeah.
Yes.
She was like, you did your homework there. And that's the kind of stuff, that in-depth type of old school journalism, get in there. And that's what's interesting to me. Anyone could just throw up a microphone and say, well, this is this song and this is how it makes me feel.
No.
It's like, let's just do a little more.
Right.
Right. Let's go a little bit deeper.
Yeah. So that's what I would bring, And I'm hoping our schedules meet. We'll
listen.
figure that
They
stuff
gonna
out.
meet.
Yeah,
we gonna make this happen. We gotta kidnap you. We gonna do it.
Yes.
Because I think you can bring something great to this platform. I look for people who bring something different than what I bring. I have a very journalistic mind. I'm very, integral in making sure things go right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't have all the answers. I don't. But what I bring and what another person brings and then another person brings, that makes this into
absolutely
a nice melding
the talent
pot.
of each and every individual is what actually fosters a bigger group,
Right.
brings everything to the table. You know, we each have a different aspect of looking at an individual to get information, and then you know the whole person. And that's what I'm guessing you're hoping this whole team will be about. You know, we get to have a bigger team, a bigger platform, expose more.
Well, that's the whole purpose of any show, is to have a bigger platform, but it has to be the right platform. I'm not going to jump on somebody just because they say, hey, we think you're great. Come on over here. Okay? What are you offering?
Right. Correct.
Don't just, okay, the money's great. What are you offering?
Right.
Is it for autonomy? Or are you going to try to chime in and tell me what I should and shouldn't say? And if that's the case, there you go, keep it.
Keep it to yourself, yeah.
Because if I can't say Trump's trash, the orange idiot
Don't say
that likes to grab people in the biscuits.
Watch out. No.
If I can't say that, then this ain't the place for me.
Yeah. I hear
Because I like the fact that on this platform, right here on NM Mix Radio, I can say what I want.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
This is my show on their station.
Right.
My show speaks my mind.
Right.
But a lot of people don't have the opportunity to do so because they're controlled by certain people in the industry. They have to walk and talk a certain way because they say something too outlandish.
Right.
They get penalized for
Correct,
it.
they do.
They get beat down for it. They get, their feet held to the fire for it. What is it that you want to bring to this platform?
What I would like to bring to this platform, and I watched a couple of the shows. Yes.
Oh,
I think what I want to bring to the platform is more, and I like what you do, like with the indie artists, but more. I'm a sucker for R&B, like a huge sucker, and there's a lot of Yes.
So do I.
I think there's a lot of new up and coming R&B artists, and I like that you mentioned that we can Skype. So even if it's like little tiny segments, trying to.
Ain't no tiny segments.
Yeah, no.
They get a
They get a whole
they
segment.
get-
hold on.
Yes.
Just like the major artist that shows up,
Right.
just like the person who's 3/4 of the way from catching the brass ring.
Yeah.
I treat them the same,
Same way.
Perfect.
Same
Everybody
amount
gets
of time.
the equal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't go, nobody knows you, so
Yeah.
I'm just going to give you
this
2
5
minutes.
Oh,
You're
gave
going
him
to say
two?
hi,
At
you're
least I
going to
gave
say
him
bye, I'm
5.
going to play one song. You
Yeah.
got to get
Yeah.
out of here.
Yeah.
No, I
No,
don't
I
do
hear
that.
you.
No.
Yeah.
They get a whole full interview, get to know them,
Yeah.
dig
Yes.
deep in their
Yeah.
in their history.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They get it
that-
all.
And to piggyback on that, yes, that young R&B indie hungry type of audiences
Sounds
is
good.
what drives me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
That's-
Listen,
yeah.
I love R&B, even though we play hip hop on here, because we get a lot of rappers.
Yeah.
involved.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
We get a lot of rappers on here.
Yes.
And we want to facilitate to reach all of them.
Right.
But I do love my R&B.
Yeah.
I love some good soulful, something that moves your spirit type music. Not to let me rip your drawers off and pour some Xanax in your
No.
drink, and then all of a sudden you passed out, and then I'm gonna touch you while you passed out. I was like, what?
See, I like that R&B, soul, jazz. I like
Yes.
that vibe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think we could start hitting some people.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's do
Look,
it.
think
you see
so.
the bubble over his head? You see him already thinking,
Well, and if she can hook me up with Dana Dang,
right?
Yeah,
Oh,
that would be dope. That would be dope.
I'll reach out to her.
you ain't got to. I got a number already.
Well, see, I got different reasons too. I gotta reach out to
Well,
her.
Yes, we have a full-fledged model in the building.
Yes, yes,
A
yes.
sexy,
Thank you for mentioning
curvaceous
that.
model.
Actually, you
Yeah.
know. I
Plug.
sometimes forget. I do, because I'm.
I don't.
Just,
Every week you walk in here, I'm like,
I
we
just
got a
lay
model
back.
in the studio.
Yeah, I just lay back and
Very humble about it, you know.
because like Belinda, I
Mhm.
rather teach. I haven't been in
I
the
hear you.
modeling game, for long.
Mm-hmm.
But now I find myself doing a lot of things that Belinda's doing, a lot of behind the scenes, pushing people forward,
Yes.
training people, and I didn't think I would do that because I want to do runway, I want to do print,
Right.
I want to do that. I want to be in the front, but
Right.
maybe that's not where my position is supposed to be.
Right.
because a lot of people,
lies.
even artists, are coming to me now. So I'm now known as a stylist. I'm styling artists.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So and I love it.
Yes,
I'm comfortable.
I'm
with
love
that.
it too. But she belongs in front of the camera. Yes, Lord.
This right here is
if y'all
for
can
me in front of the
see,
camera. This
if
is
y'all
the
can
camera
see
right here.
what we see sitting next to us, you would understand why. Anywho,
please.
Sexiness is sexy dozen. She is absolutely sexy. But I celebrate people, and I'm not gonna just celebrate the people that come here. I'm gonna celebrate the people sitting next to me. I'm gonna celebrate the people that are coming up. I'm not gonna just let somebody be someone that nobody knows.
Right.
I'm gonna let every platform that I'm in, that I'm on, that I get to, that I talk with, that I'm in, to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to shine.
But
Because
you know, the same thing we have to do with you. Because you here, you want to talk about everybody else,
I'm
but
gonna
I don't
talk
think
about
anybody.
Yes, sir.
I know we've
Mac.
we
Oh,
spoke
yeah,
off
man.
the
We got
air.
3 minutes left.
Yeah, he
That
likes
is-
to, you know,
Yeah.
divert the situation. But we celebrating
about it.
you.
Yeah,
Talk about
right.
it because
Cool.
Yes.
you listen, you deserve recognition as well. And just like
Correct.
we were talking about earlier, it's hard. It's hard to keep trucking. It's hard to keep carrying the torch and not really being, recognized the way that you should. So definitely big up to you. Always reaching a hand as well. You know how many times you invited me? You could have stopped a long time ago. But you still reach out and
But
you
you know
still,
why?
I
Well,
appreciate that.
As Belinda says, I took that moment. I ain't gonna say what she said. I ain't gonna be in the shower thinking about you. But, but in my mind, I was like, there's something about Rashid when I met you.
Yeah.
Even before we talked about anything that you did,
Right.
something about your spirit and your energy that spoke to me. And I knew one day, no matter how many times I asked, you'll be sitting right where you are.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I really do.
I appreciate greatness, and as it sits before me, I have no other choice but to bow to its will. I see greatness. I see greatness.
I see greatness.
Nah,
Oh, for
I'm
sure.
just a guy. I just sit on the side.
Nah, brother. No.
And when I see that, I have to bow to its will. I have to give into it. She didn't know it when she came on the show a few times. Not only is she fine as hell, yes. Yes, fine as mother freaking hell. I saw something in her beyond just sitting here and interviewing.
Right.
Miss Tony has been on here a few times already.
Yeah. Yeah.
About three or four times already.
Yeah, when you was in the
Other place.
Okay.
Other place. The sunken place.
Yes.
No, and I saw something then.
Yeah.
And in the realm of trying to pick people to be here and do the things, I'm integral in what I do and what I pick. But I'm glad she is here, and every week
Glad to be here too, baby.
I thank her for being here. And I thank you for being here this week.
Most definitely.
But what we're gonna do right now is, once again, it's your boy Mac 357. This is the evening experience from 5 to 7 every Thursday. Hit the YouTube link in our bio. Subscribe. And sitting to my right is
Miss Tony. I'm always in the building.
and rounding out the top 3 is
Radio Rashid.
And once again, this is the evening experience. Watch us, listen to us, go back, watch this episode. I'm telling you, greatness is in the building. We're out. We'll see you next week. Let's go.
I'm gonna be your sound tech.
I went from trapping to smacking rappers on TMZ. What's up with Shade Room? Ball alert, it say cheese. Hip hop since 1987, know it's crackin'. Million views when that bean shit happened. Nicki Minaj told me she seen it with her own eyes.
but I wasn't surprised when she got out of Dodge. Popped up with knives, meat split ties. Put Safari in the eye. Had him running like a bitch, nigga, no lie. Had him running fast up Rodeo Drive. Shout out to Young Thug, that's my motherfucking slime. Had Savage out in the hood committing crimes. He told me got shot like 7 fucking times. Me and Young Jeezy, yeah, we always vibe. He always tell me to stay on my job, so I make it snow in the middle of July. Trapping and smacking rappers on TMZ. What's up with Shade Room, Ball Alert, and Say Cheese? I went from trapping to smacking rappers on TMZ. What's up with Shade Room, Ball Alert, and Say Cheese? Nipsey Hussle begging C, YG begging B. Nipsey smacked the lame at the BET. I was thinking like, damn, he could've called me. I would've got it done for the free. Made in America, I talked to Jay-Z before he dropped the verse on me. What's free? Me and Raw sat and smoked the QP. Talking rich forever, we mob like true G's. Talking about the French incident back in Philly. Word got out on IG, Wallow and Gilly. Lil Uzi, P&B, carrying Philly. Smacking rappers for sport, get out your feelings. I went from trapping to smacking rappers on TMZ. What's up with Shade Room, Ball Alert, and Say Cheese? I went from trapping to smacking rappers on TMZ. What's up with Shade Room, Ball Alert, and Say Cheese? They said Vlad TV got AR ad book. He all in my DM trying to get a report. He won't 6'9" me, had me going to court. What the fuck he thought? He must have took a snort. I'm rapping now, so please pass the torch. Go and ride for the city in that brand new Porsche. Lil Nizzy almost died on his grandma's porch, but he survived, he a real nigga, of course. 2019, do for self, bringing all the smoke. Giving niggas cancer like that Newport smoke. Any rapper sneak dissing, I'm breaking his nose. Popping up at the shows, putting holes in his clothes. Hopping back on the road, last rapper I smacked was for the ball X, and they cut that check. Rest in peace, homeboy. Much respect, killed him in his own city, saying where they did that. They say life's a gamble, I'm taking all bets. Do for self army, we move like vets. I went from trapping to smacking rappers on TMZ. What's up with Shade Room, Ball Alert, and Say Cheese? I went from trapping to smacking rappers on TMZ. What's up with Shade Room, Ball Alert, and Say Cheese?